All right, mate. Have a great call.
Yeah, you too, mate. Enjoy your coffee.
We'll do Grumpy Coffee. Don't know if they're still doing it. Head to grumpycoffee.com.au. Might still be 30% off, not sure.
And the bag will be with you in 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, we'll.
Guaranteed.
Yep, absolutely. They do great work.
They do.
All right. Geez, tough week, eh? Are you okay?
Not really, mate.
We needed a bit of extra time to record it just to collect our thoughts.
Yeah, not really.
All right, let's get into it. Welcome to Win, Learn or Draw, a West Tigers podcast because the Tigers never lose. They either win or they learn. And geez, are we learning a lot lately. Big show today. Looking forward to it. Got Mort alongside me. I'm Hammy, of course. If you like what we're doing, please get around the socials where we're trying to zero in on 2005 followers, subscribers, all that jazz. We'll let you do the math as to why 2005. But when we hit those targets, a bit of exclusive merch coming. So over to you, balls in your court. We're getting pretty close on Instagram. So looking forward to all of that. Make sure as well, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and on podcast, leave us a review. 5-star review, obviously.
5-star, please.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that kit and caboodle. Yeah, we are honing in on 2005, Hammy.
Yep.
1,000 plus on on YouTube, almost 1,900 on Insta. We're getting close.
Like it.
That we're
Like
actually going to have to follow through with that merch drop.
That's
and
right.
the forgotten cousin, TikTok.
Yep.
Over 1,000 followers there too. So
How good?
the Tiger Army, is that a thing? Is the Pride?
Yep.
Are they Pride?
Pride of Tigers? Pride of Lions, I reckon.
Yeah, I think
what would a
you're
group of Tigers be? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, make sure you leave us a 5-star review as well on Apple Podcasts. We've been loving those coming in. Shout out as well to 5-Star Cricket, the now closed cricket shop in Canberra, out in Fishwick there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you were going to shout that out eventually.
Yeah. Did you ever get down there in your time in Canberra?
No, I didn't. No,
Yeah.
I didn't play a lot of cricket when I was in Canberra.
Yeah.
No.
I probably would have been towards the end of its innings, I reckon as well. You were there, what, 2011, 12?
2009
Yep.
to 2014.
Okay.
Good 5-year stint, 5-year contract,
Yeah, nice.
and I honoured it.
Yeah, rare these days. Few people involved in the club could learn a thing or two from the way you behaved about Canberra.
My Canberra contract.
As much as I'd love this to descend into reminiscing about Canberra, we'll get into the Tigers stuff. So it's over to Mort for a 30-second summary on Manly versus the Tigers. We were there, had a great time.
We were.
Spoiler alert, I'm sure that'll get covered off in the summary.
Yes.
But I'll get my stopwatch out, and it's over to you in 3, 2, 1.
The afternoon started with a tinny on the Say barge, which was chugga down as we entered enemy territory, only to be met by a couple of Balmaniacs at the bus stop.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Several lagers later, at one of Brookvale's finest breweries, we headed to the Eagles' Nest and perched up on the Good Day Hill, surrounded by a bunch of raving mad lunatics in Eagles jerseys. The beer was flowing like wine, and the rugby league podcast fraternity were flocking like the salmon of Capistrano. There was a crew from Hello Sport. Rugby league guru was there, playing in Simple Boys, and of course the Win, Learn or Draw halves pairing, Hammy and Mort. Fast forward a few hours, and our very own Hammy Goodman was win, learn or withdrawing in the pub's computer room.
I was.
With several more schooners under our belts, a Macca's feed and a very long Uber to round out the night. We ended up having a fantastic Friday night. Oh, and the Tigers learned 28-10.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
All that other stuff that happened afterwards. 57 seconds, I'll take it though.
Yeah, because I honestly, I didn't have much to recap about the game, to be honest.
Nah, not much.
One, maybe the Japanese lagers were a little too good.
Yep.
And we're
Konnichiwa to all of our Japanese viewers as well.
Yes, there's quite a few.
Yep.
Or two, it was just not a super memorable game as far as Tigers fans are concerned.
One I think we'll be keen to delete pretty quickly. I think it's probably fair to say. You mentioned I win, learn or withdrew in the computer room there.
Yeah.
I actually learned a lot. Not too much, but I learned again.
It was one of those nights where learning was at the forefront of what we were doing.
It was. I kind of went in there. I don't go in there often, but I kind of went, you know what? Tonight, surely all the bad luck's kind of gone now at this point of the evening.
Yep.
But how wrong I was. But it was good to do it amongst friends. We kind of went in as a bit of a syndicate. The Eagle was there.
I was going to say there was a bit of a movement happening at the Brookvale Hotel. There
was.
Who's wants? Let's go to the ATM. Let's get some cash out.
Yeah.
We'll all go in.
Yeah.
We'll win together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed the the ATM session, but
Yeah.
I wasn't too happy.
It was,
sad about that.
we were hoping to win together, and it turned into more of a learn for you experience. Shout out to Lockie Pringle.
Oh yeah, we did see the great man on the hill as well, Lockie Pringle.
He was a bit of a lightning rod for some free advice there from the from the Manly fans. He does stand out. He's a little bit taller, and he wasn't afraid to give it back a little bit. And they, as they kind of had the Brookvale doctor at their back off the back of a couple of Japanese lagers.
Yeah.
They certainly weren't afraid to kind of pipe back to him.
No, and he was turning around and facing them, which is always a bit of a cardinal sin when you're at an away ground. But
wasn't that well received?
No, it wasn't.
Neither were we at times as well.
We were in the thick of it as well.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure that Ella did that. Ella the Eagle did that deliberately.
Yep.
We were like, where should we stand on the hill? She's like, oh, come up here. I've got a good spot for you. It was the Manly Ferals out in full force.
Yep.
But kind of added to the atmosphere. I had a friend there who, that was his first game. Actually, sorry. His first game of NRL was the Eels Bulldogs, maybe 2018 or something at a core.
Yep.
He was like, it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Both of those were struggling at the time.
Had to go to a call, both teams struggling.
Yeah.
You
just an absolute
full box and dice.
Absolute basket case of a game.
Yep.
That was his second game. So to witness, I guess, Manly win with a hill full of Manly degenerates was probably a good experience for him.
Yeah.
Not for us.
No, terrible.
No, it was a bit,
To be
of,
honest.
a bit of a rough one.
It was grim. It was
you
grim.
gone back and looked at the game at all?
Yeah.
I've had a few little...
The so-called highlights I've gone back to have a look at.
It was a dreary game, wasn't it?
Tough.
First half was all
It was
over
like,
the shop.
wasn't the best quality game from both sides, I'd say, in the first half.
Yeah.
From both sides.
Yeah, I agree. I think when listening back to the commentary, Vossi was saying Manly would have been kicking themselves if they weren't leading by more at halftime.
Yeah.
So for it to go in at 6-0, we obviously still had a bit of Tristan. Heading into the second half. But then, again, those little portions either side of halftime conceded and kind of let the game slip away.
Yeah, we did that old West Tigers thing, which, we've been saying it a couple of times this year, so maybe it's not an old habit. Maybe it's coming back in. But 5 minutes before halftime and the 5 to 10 minutes after halftime, like that's the game basically one and done. We conceded 3 tries there, some pretty soft ones as well.
Yep.
So, that's becoming a little bit of an issue. But, it wasn't easy. I know we're going to get to it in the set of 6, some of the obstacles that we kind of faced on the day.
Tigers. It's going to be one of the tackles is a bit of a classic West Tigers week.
Yep.
From about 79 minutes in the Raiders game all the way up to the end of the Eagles game.
Yeah.
I think, you're right. That portion either side of halftime is just becoming a problem again.
Yeah.
I was just mentioning in the Orange Room prior that I'm starting to see the fan base unravel a little bit in some certain forums and some certain pages on Facebook called West Tigers Will Never Die.
Yeah.
Where we have admins leaving.
Admins leaving is not a good sign.
Right when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Yeah.
And we got to stick in there and keep that positivity going. And I'm sure we do have a lot more to look forward to. But it was a tough week.
It was a tough watch, grim watch. But hang in there, people. It will get better. I don't know when, but the good times are coming eventually.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
As Gandalf says.
Yep.
Don't think he says that. He says something like that.
Something along those lines.
Something to that effect.
Words to that effect.
Probably not the most timely drive for membership.
Get in there. Don't be an admin that leaves. Put your money where your mouth is. Get on board.
There you go.
The boys.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Now is the best time to jump on.
Be an admin that joins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put your hand up. Say you want to be an admin.
Yep.
We need to get to 11,000. Richo's asked us to. I think we can do it. We're at 10K plus. Things are only going to go up. It can't get worse. So
I'm a little bit worried about this weekend, but I reckon after this weekend, then it'll all be smooth sailing.
Yeah, but how much of a non-bandwagoner would you look if you grabbed a membership
right now?
We played the Roosters at Allianz.
That's a great point. Wear that as a badge of honour.
Good point.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
It's like when you're doing stocks or crypto. This is not financial advice, by the way. But when you buy the dip, when it kind of gets down, then you know that good times it's going to bounce back,
and you feel like a genius.
That's right.
Because if you jumped on now and you bought a membership, and then all of a sudden we
win the comp,
win the comp from here, you're going to look like the biggest genius.
Still mathematically can win it. So
mathematically, our favourite word this time of year. Actually, probably a bit early for that, but we'll start.
It is what it is.
We'll start rolling that out soon. The Tom Jenkins Award for player who for some reason plays like Clive Churchill when they play the Tigers goes to Brooksy.
One of our own.
Yeah. For some reason.
Love to see it.
Really played well in parts.
Yeah.
Played like Brooksy in other parts, but
Yep.
played well in that. And shout out to Burbo and Corey Waddell as well, who were copying.
Was that Burbo?
Burbo.
I thought that was Angus Crichton.
Well,
I was like, when did Manly sign Angus Crichton all of a sudden?
Yeah, I know. Blonde. And he bleached his hair.
Yeah.
Like that crowd were giving those two so much flack, and then they both scored tries at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Classic.
Good stuff.
Any spicy play of the week for Walker Noodles?
Yeah. I mean, it was slim pickings, wasn't it?
But, mate, very slim pickings.
You've done well to identify one spicy noodle this week.
Yeah.
I see what you've thrown in there, and I'm inclined to wholeheartedly agree with you.
Yeah, I've got Dewey in the halves.
Yeah.
Doo-doo-hee-hee. I feel like the game was lost, and maybe it was the last roll of the dice. Maybe it was injury.
Yep.
Maybe it was some players playing pretty poorly. Well, most were playing out of position, right?
Yep.
But when he went in the halves, we looked very much more like together,
Yeah.
cohesive, which goes to show like having an old head in there, which is where we lost, which was one of the points in the tackles. When we lost a senior head in the halves, we were always going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing on Fainu, and who ended up playing
Happy.
6? Happy. Okay.
Yeah. For a
He's a
bit.
hooker.
For a bit.
Yeah. It was all over the shop, right?
It was all over
and
the
then
shop.
when Dewey came in, he kind of stuck everyone together, which
Yeah.
was nice to see.
I'm going to give him his flowers. Great stuff. I don't think it solves our problems long term, though. That's my only concern. But I thought he was good, but I still think we need to persist with Fainu. But I think we're going to get to that in the 76.
Couldn't agree more. I think what I hope we find this weekend, and we'll touch on this, is that the AD Fainu pairing gives him a little bit of confidence to be like, oh, okay, I've got a good, solid footy player next to me that's a half.
Yep.
I can be a half, and then I'll just play my game.
Yeah.
So I feel like he had too much of the weight on his shoulders.
Agree.
On Friday
Agree.
night.
Should we get into this 36? And can I request
do
we
it.
go tackle 2-3 then 1?
Okay, I was going to start with something positive, but
Nah, save it. I think we're into we need to get into the nuts and bolts of the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
So tackle 1, and we touched on this, but I haven't seen a more Wests Tigers week than
Yeah.
this in a
while.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was started in the 79th minute, or maybe a little earlier, 75th minute of that Raiders game.
No, it was the 79th.
It was the 79th?
I think. Yeah.
Far out. So
Yep.
we lost our arguably close to Kelly Barnes Player of the Year
Yeah.
this year.
Our most dangerous player.
Our most
I'd say.
dangerous player, Rookie of the Year, Kelly Barnes of the Year 2 years ago. Jarome Bulla did his hammy
Yep.
in the game.
Did his Ryan Goodman against the Raiders.
Did his hammy bad man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good. No good. That's how it started,
Yeah.
right? And even then I was like, whoa, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because he's so good.
Yeah.
Then-
Big loss. Because heading into a week out from, I identified Manly as that winnable game.
Definitely.
Full strength, winnable game. We've been playing good footy. Full team rolls out there. We're on. When he dropped out, I was like, still winnable.
Yep.
Because, we still got Jarome playing.
Yep.
Everyone else is still humming. But Bulla was an out at that point. So, yeah, tough start. 1 minute to go in the Raiders game.
Can't get worse. Anyway,
Couldn't possibly.
We name a team. We can put Mason at fullback. He's played a bit of fullback there.
That's okay. We can
we're all
deal
good.
with one change.
We're still looking good. Then
Morning of game.
morning of the game. So Friday morning, Jarome Luai ruled out with mystery illness at the time.
Yep.
Now there were reports going around it was a Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle.
Can you give us any insight into it?
Well, yeah, I did ask him point blank yesterday in the Blues, and was not a Boyle. Staff, I believe. was
Staff.
yeah.
Staffy.
Jared Staffy.
You got a bit of Jared Staffy.
Yeah.
So what is that?
I think it's just when a cut gets infected and it can kind of. It sounds grosser than it is. I think it's just like can get an open wound and
Yeah, staff's a gross sound.
not a great word, but I believe all good though.
Okay.
It's a 48-hour thing with some antibiotics and stuff, and he's sweet, but very painful when you got it. To take contact and stuff.
Well, he
around.
was in hospital.
Had to go to hospital.
Benji was saying. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we lose Bulla with a hammy in the last play of the game against the Raiders.
Yep.
We lose Luai with a
Susan.
/staff.
Yep, Jared Staffy.
And then obviously murmurs throughout the entire week of losing another young gun, Talon De Silva.
Yep.
Which sounds like it's all but done before the game. We get taught pretty hardcore in the second half at Brooky, and then he scores the final try of the game.
Yeah.
And people come up and kind of rub his head. No one really gets around him.
Yeah.
And the next day he's gone.
Yep. So all good stuff, really. And then on top of that, you know, we've got Heath Mason out there kind of filling a few roles through the game.
Yeah.
A kick goes through for a try to be scored. He's not even a chance of contesting for the ball. Pushes the referee in the back. 2-match ban.
2-match?
I believe so. That's what they're looking at.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, might need to confirm that, but that was the report. He's facing a 2-match ban for contact with the ref.
Do you know what was funny? I was going into that game, even with these outs and these murmurs being like, we can still win this. And it was there for the taking in the first half. And the second half was pretty ordinary.
100%.
And it made, you know what, I still had a great time out at Brooky, but geez, it made life tough while we were out there.
Made life very tough. Very tough. The whole thing was just like a bit of a mess. So we did our best to scramble on the day. So, and I feel for Finu because I think, you know, it was the first kind of, we played 7 at Campbelltown last week, you know, when he kind of came on. Yep. This was the first time, you know, you're in the number 7 jersey, let's go. He would have been thinking all week, sweet. So I get some great service from Appy Corus out 9, a 3-time premiership winning halfback. I'm going to have a 4-time premiership winning half pairing with me, Luai. So it doesn't all rest on me. I'm going to have a bit of support around me.
Yep.
Game day rolls around. Nah, he's not playing. The guy that's leaving tomorrow is going to be serving you the ball. And Appy's going to be playing number 6, which I don't think he's ever done before, really. You know, if they had to rejig, Appy's done 7 a couple of times really well. Yep. But that would have like cooked Finu again, who'd been preparing all week at 7.
Yep.
And then Talon wasn't exactly playing his best footy, so he got hooked for a little bit. Appy went back to 9. Heath Mason came into 5'8". Lil Ely went back to fullback. There's a lot of change going on. It would have been a tough ask.
Yep.
You know, and I think people have been a bit harsh on Finu.
Sure.
Yeah.
It completely rattled his entire week, right?
Yeah.
It was a shaky ground from start to finish. So even Campbelltown, he had Bulla at the back. Like we had our full core spine there. So we can't judge him until he's got those 3 players around him in those key positions. I think you're right. I think we write that off and forget about that performance from the entire team and go on to greener pastures.
Yeah, that's right. So a tough week for the first tackle this week, but I think we've kind of touched on all the key points there.
Well, let's move into maybe a little bit of Teamless Tuesday predictions.
Yeah,
because we're recording this on a Tuesday morning.
Yep. Sorry to all the early birds out there who are waiting for it at 6 a.m, but bit of a work clash last night.
I hope they didn't listen to any other podcasts. They just kind of sat there in silence, I would assume.
Surely they're being patient. Yeah.
So tackle 2, out, we've got Mason.
Yep.
Smash the ref. Bulla, Hammy Badman.
Yep.
Luai.
Susan Boyle.
Susan, Staff, Origin, all 3.
Yep.
Appy's out with concussion.
Yep. Perfect.
TDS out. Don't know if you heard about that.
Yep. 4.5 year.
To $650,000 a year.
Good luck with that.
This is when
honestly, you know what? I'm comfortable with that.
I should have played hooker when I was younger.
Yep.
$650,000.
Yeah.
To play for Parramatta. Actually, I probably wouldn't do it for $650,000.
Have you no shame?
So let's predict some little moves that we'll be doing. I think Dewey be halfback.
Yep.
And captain.
I think so. I think he will, given how he played last week.
It'll be Dewey's team.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know if you saw him in the press conference with Benji. Benji fronted up to most of the questions.
Yep.
And just on Benji as well, this is the first mention I've heard this year of possible replacements. He's been kind of cruising along, 17 weeks in, but now Buzz Rothfield's obviously reporting.
Yes.
Maybe there is someone else.
Yeah.
That should be I don't agree at all.
No.
I think we stick with Benji.
Stick fat.
Yep.
For the time being.
He's got some just choices to make this week. And I think Dewey and captain. But Dewey next to him in the press conference said, we don't want to die wondering. You'll never see us throw in the white towel.
Good.
That's my captain.
Love it.
Get
him behind him.
Yeah.
He did play well. I think, with Luai and stuff out this week, it makes sense. Just go get him in there. He looked pretty good in the last bit of the game. I do still think finally long term's the 7.
Yeah,
but,
no doubt.
I'm comfortable with that change this week.
Do you think Adam Dewey's the man? You think he can beat the Roosters? Because it'll be off his back that we win.
Yeah. I hope so, is what I'll say.
Tristan
hope so.
Well, I think he'll be 9.
Yep.
Tristan Hope.
Give me hope.
We don't have much else to go.
Not a lot
with.
of other.
Jared Hayward was named as 18th man in Reggie's, who's an up-and-coming hooker that has really big raps on him.
But he's still a couple of years away, isn't he?
He's not NRL yet, but I mean, Hope's obviously that, gap fill until Jared Hayward comes of age.
Uh-huh.
I think Latu will be 6. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, yep.
Yep. But would you prefer Dewey 6, Latu 7?
It's a tough one.
Dewey's played a lot of 6. More 6 than he has 7.
Yeah. Maybe they'll stick with Fino at 7 just because they've kind of made that call last week. Like, you're 7, get used to it.
That's your jersey,
but just stick Dewey in there and he can do a bit of 7 stuff while he's in the number 6 jersey.
A little bit of key.
Maybe they'll do that.
And then I think Luke Lalili will be fullback.
Yeah. No Leichhardt Lamborghini? Lidcombe Lamborghini? Charlie Staines?
Possibly, I
Get him
guess.
in the number 23 jersey and just let him rip?
If they give him the number 23, maybe they'll name him at 23 and shift him later. But Lalili plays a fair bit of fullback in Reggie's, whereas Forbes, Ferrari, Lidcombe Lambo plays on the wing.
Yep.
And he played a little bit of NRL fullback the other night.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't stand out, didn't make many errors or anything. I think they tested him with a high ball a fair bit.
Once or twice.
But
yeah, cool. All good.
But yeah, I think just because he plays fullback, he'll be picked at fullback.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. A bit more NRL experience for the Lidcombe Lambo.
Yeah. Maybe they've just got to go play the kids, hope for the best.
So that's the spine this week.
Yeah.
Imagine being Benji sitting in that room trying to pick what to do here.
I feel for him. Tough week.
It's a tough week. We only have the Roosters, so...
Only the Roosters at Allianz, so that'll be sweet.
That'll be
all good. All right, now we can go back to some positivity.
Do you want some positivity?
I do. I think I need
Speaking of the Roosters, tackle 3, we beat the Roosters in New South Wales Cup.
Last week?
Yep.
How good?
Yep. We smashed them. Depth. That's exactly it. I don't know if it's score here, but I think it was like 28-10, 28-14, something like that.
Okay.
The boys played really well. We had obviously a few movements there as well with TDS going up, Luke Lalili going up. So we had Alex Lobb at fullback.
Lobby.
Hattie
for Lobby.
Hattie for Lobby at fullback. Does he come into the fold?
Yeah.
For the NRL fullback spot? I don't know.
I think he'd be a little bit down the pecking order, to be honest, but yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
Royce Hunt had a blinder.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah. 25 minutes.
Yep.
31 minutes, sorry. And apparently played well for the whole 31
minutes.
Yeah, pretty good knock. And I remember last week we were concerned he played 21, 22 minutes and had one hitter. Whereas this week he was brushing off players willy-nilly.
Love it.
So I think he has to get rushed back into our bench spot.
Bit of punch off the bench.
Yeah, bit of Rolls Royce.
If you can play 25, 30 minutes, good. There's a few times this year he's played like 15. Need a bit more out of the big fella.
Yeah, I think at the moment now we need some steady heads and senior people back in the team, and I think him off the bench is a pretty viable option for this week.
Like it.
Kurt Falls.
Yes.
So
former Bronco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a genuine halfback, out and out halfback. He's 28, but obviously don't think he can get a slot in the NRL team.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe this week.
Not in the top 30 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we can work our way around that, can't we?
Yeah.
Brooksy.
That's right.
AKA Brooksy 2013.
Get one good game out of him for the year. Yeah.
But yeah, he had a blinder as well. Really good game. And then Isaac Tuitupo.
Yep.
So there are lots of whispers around that he should replace Skelton just for a stint. He is playing out of his skin down there in Reggie's.
You replace Skelton.
That's the chat. Now, I'm certainly not one to bag Taruva, but we've been letting a lot of tries in down the right edge.
Yeah.
Lately. So I don't know if, I mean, I'm all for sticking with the same 17 to get the job done every week, but we're getting forced into changes at the moment.
Yep.
And yeah, Isaac Tuitupo is, eating meters out of his own end. He's scoring tries.
Uh-huh.
He's safe under the high ball.
Yep.
A little bit of NRL experience for South Sydney. I don't know whether Benji throws him a bone and sees what happens, but because Dewey's moving out of the
centres
this week.
Oh, so you could put him in there maybe.
Well, he's an out-and-out winger.
Okay.
Don't know if the other two could shift into centre. Skelton maybe.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, we're going to need a centre, aren't we?
Might be worth giving him a go this week. Apparently Naden played well as well.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be back in the fold. But, again, levels apart from...
That's right. I feel like he always plays... You hear the reports back from reserve grade and he always kills it. And he kind of comes up and he has a few good moments, but is he the answer? Not sure. Anyway, interesting to see where they kind of go with it. So I'm happy to stick with Skelton. I think he's got some good moments. It's been a couple of times this year he's had some silly errors or whatever. But I do think he's a bit of a weapon, and at his best, he's like...
And he probably needs more NRL experience to become more of a weapon.
I think so.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Taruva, you're right. Been a bit quiet, but, hasn't had
Since the chant, basically.
Yeah, did we moz him potentially with that? Sorry, I hope not. I think he hasn't had a whole lot of ball out there as well. Stafford's kind of been tucking it under the wing a little bit and just taking him on. Hasn't been getting it out to him as much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway.
But the good news is the last 6 games, we've only lost 1 in reserve grade. So there's that depth.
Only learned once.
Only learned once, sorry.
Yeah.
1 draw.
1 draw, that's
4
right.
wins. How good's that?
Not bad. I'd take that in the first grade team, that's for sure.
So big Reggie Rapp this week. Another win, beating the Roosters. So, yeah, on a bit of a roll down there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that kind of boils up into NRL. And Susan boils. Not too many boils, but, hopefully the NRL team take note.
Yeah, nice.
Tackle 4, what's going on?
Tackle 4, well, look, we have, adopted a bit of a policy where we don't, sort of mention a certain someone who walked out on the club before their contract was up to go from our side to the top of the table side. But hopefully you were able to piece together who I'm referring to there with that description. He's jumped on social media off the back of Talon De Silva announcing that he's off to the Eels, or the Eels announcing that they've signed Talon De Silva. With a post that says Talon De Silva signed until 2029, done deal, handshake emoji, and it's got Talon in his new Eels kit.
Yep.
Now, he who must not be named has shared it to his story, tagged Talon De Silva, and put a okay emoji with a winky face emoji.
Winky face is a real prick move.
What do you make of that behaviour?
I have to often remind myself that he's a child before I go and vent.
Yeah.
It says everything that you need to know about Voldemort there.
Yeah.
He's obviously, I don't know if I mentioned on the potty, but I remember seeing a Terrell Davis-May vlog and Galvin and De Silva were like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Like kind of a little bit out of the loop, maybe. So obviously they've kind of been snickering away in the background and then both got out and, oh, well done. I think it reminds me a lot of like the Moses Teddy Brooks era as well. Like,
yeah, looking forward to watching them captain their country and win a couple of Origins. That'll be great.
But yeah, it's very cheeky. But by the way, Voldemort, we did promise a certain student of the game that we wouldn't mention him for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have. And then they said they would get a haircut exactly like him. So it's in the DMs. I'll have to look through it.
Dig up exactly who it was. I think I remember seeing that one. So
yes,
cough it up. Maybe, look, if I'm looking for a little bit of a positive spin on this, maybe because Talon in this photo has got a immaculate haircut. Nice fade, sensible. He's kind of got that bowl cut fringe, but he's actually kind of pulling it off a lot more than Voldemort was. So maybe it's just a nod to the haircut going, looking fresh. Maybe it's that more than you got out of the Tigers.
You might be right.
I don't know. Because he's looking sharp there.
He is looking real. And his I know I talk a lot about his eyebrows, but
yeah,
gee whiz, they look good.
Yeah.
That might be an ode to that. As maybe he got him plucked that morning and Lockie's
eyebrows that make John Howard blush, those ones, aren't they? Strong, bold, and well manicured. So he's looking good in the photo. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Maybe that's what old mate is referring to. But if it wasn't, if it's what we initially thought it was, building quite the CV of average form.
Yeah, I know. And this is what social media allows, is peanuts to be peanuts. So unfortunately, he's been a peanut, and we move on. Yeah, it's getting to the point now where obviously we'll watch Talon De Silva closely. It doesn't feel as bitter with him. Like, he had a genuine reason to leave. Yeah, he had one of the best nines blocking in the last 25 years in his way. Yep. And we're all like, we understand. And Richo said that. We understand.
Would have loved him to see the year out though.
I don't really understand that, mate. I don't. Like we got.
Would it kill anyone to just see the end of a year out on their contract with us? Like just not have to leave before June 30?
And so the June 30 deadline still exists. I thought that was like a days of old.
No, it's back, baby.
It's back.
Yeah.
In POG form.
Yeah. EFS.
EFS. Oh, happy new financial year.
Yeah. Any financial New Year's resolutions for you?
Yeah, earn more.
Earn more.
Oh, speaking of.
Win, earn or draw.
Win, earn or draw. Where I've just submitted an inquiry to see how much money we've made on the ad revenue that we've been forcing down people's throats. So
nice.
Hopefully, Matty, you'll get paid. Maybe a bonus. End of financial year.
Maybe.
Bonus.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anything's a bonus at this point for Matty. Yeah.
Tackle 5.
Yeah, this is the most important one.
Yeah?
This is the good stuff. So from one peanut to another. No, I'm joking. He's a great friend of the show. Back Fence Browne. Now, we've been following the journey of, he's offered to get a tattoo and if the Tigers make the top 8, and we said, how about the top 16? A bit more achievable.
Yep.
A bit more in theme with the show. Mm-hmm. Essentially, he's come to the party. I'm just gonna play this. But I like the cut of his jib, and I think we might be on here for something.
Okay.
And hopefully that ad revenue is in a healthy spot. That's part of the terms of his
I think I know
suggestion.
where this is headed.
Hey, Hammy. Hey, Morty. Taking a bit of time out of my lunch break to address some issues that you brought up this morning regarding the tattoo situation. Now, I made it very clear that I have personally held this bet that it would be for the top 8. But clearly, you boys want it for the top 16 in recognition of the great win, learn, or draw podcast. That's not win, loss, or draw. That's win, learn, or draw.
Yep. Well clarified.
And I'm saying this is a negotiation.
Ooh.
I'm thinking if we want it to be the top 16, because I'll do a top 8 one myself, but if you want it to be the top 16,
That's what we want.
I will let it be whatever is chosen, to an extent, obviously, is chosen by the people. I will get that tattoo. But I think some of it has to come out of a little bit of that, some of that ad revenue. I'm sure Matty can give up a little bit. The ad revenue that I have never been involved with because I use YouTube Premium and never once have heard a single ad. But I think some of that will go to it, and I'll let you boys make a little bit of content out of it. We'll make a day of it. You get your video, I get my tattoo. The win, learn and draw fandom get what they want. Come to the table, boys. Let's sort this out.
What do you reckon?
Well, I feel like he's Hans Gruber. We're negotiating with a terrorist here.
Yeah.
Being held hostage.
Yeah. He's far more unhinged than Hans Gruber.
I couldn't agree more.
I love it, personally.
Mate, I'm all about it.
I think it looks great, personally.
I'm all about it. I guess now we have to put it to the people.
We do.
We need to wait till the end of the year to see if we make the top.
Do we make it? Do we not? But we need to start mocking up designs now.
Yes,
this is it. Now, we have had a few comments on YouTube. We've had a few on the socials. But we need to throw it open to you now. What do we think the design should be for this? Obviously, he's a big fan and a pioneer of the Say Barge, Chugga Chugga Chugga. He's a regular 4020 till I die. Let's bloody go. These are all Back Fence Browne-isms.
Yes.
And he's, this will lock up immortality for him as well. So there's a few themes for you to go away with, students of the game. Come back to us, let us know what you think you should get tattooed, but it sounds like we have a deal.
I wonder how much real estate we've got, how much skin he's
I reckon it should be
to the podcast.
I reckon it should be a tramp stamp.
I like
Let us know where you think he should get it as well, but that's my suggestion. I reckon he should get it
Maybe
there.
some Talon de Silva eyebrows.
Oh,
That'd be pretty good.
don't hate it. Don't hate it. All right, so thank you, Back Fence Browne. That's the very important update. Tackle 5. I think it was a worthy recipient of Tackle 5.
Yeah, well
this
done,
week.
mate. Tackle 5 again. You got your own tackle.
Yep.
This keeps happening.
Yep.
I think it's heading in the right direction.
Yep.
Tackle 6.
Tackle 6. Well, I was going to go, this is not necessarily a West Tigers one, but it was just more of a coaching round the traps one that came across my desk. Freddie Fittler has done an NRL 180 and is now not interested in coaching the Kangaroos anymore.
Wow.
After initially sort of expressing a bit of interest and saying that he was going to do it.
It's funny because I had a real big scoop where I saw Mal and Fittler having a coffee together in the EQ, Sydney. So I thought that was a kind of a handover.
Yeah.
But Apparently not.
Yeah, well, he said, in an interview that he kind of was keen to do it. Had essentially taken it on board, went and started doing a bit of planning. Just went, nah, you know what? It's not for me. So, yeah, going to be interesting to see who actually wants that job now.
And I believe you touted it as a certain expression in the Orange Room.
I did. It escapes me at the moment. What was it?
It was reverse Kanga.
Oh, he's done a reverse Kanga. That's right. So he was going to be the Kangaroos coach, and now he's not. So he's done a reverse Kanga. Freddie's done a reverse Kanga is the headline. Daily Mail, if you want it. So, yeah, watch this space.
Very.
I wonder who's going to take, because he's come out as, they spoke to Cam Smith about it last night as well.
Yep.
On 100% footy, and he goes, look, interesting. Do I want, what's the schedule like? I've got a great gig at 9. Do I want to give that up to go and do something a bit more high pressure? A lot more eyeball, a lot more scrutiny on it. Can he balance them both? It'll be interesting. Interesting to see who kind of takes it from here.
Well, remember Benji had his own show on Fox.
Yeah.
And he didn't take up the Kiwis job or the Kangaroos job. He took up the West Tigers job.
Yeah.
And gave up his own show.
Yep.
Where he would have been making pretty good coin, I reckon, to come and coach the greatest club in history.
Yep.
So, Cam, I don't know if that's an excuse. You're at 9 as well. Like, come on.
It can be done.
It can be done.
If Benji's shown us anything, it can be done.
Look at Benji.
Yeah. Won Celebrity Apprentice and then did this. I'm pretty sure the prize of winning Celebrity Apprentice was coach the West Tigers. So it was either going to be Benji or Daryl McMullen. I think we got the right end of that one, which is good.
Hey, we're going to pay for Tom Fence Browne's tattoo.
We do, somehow.
For those of you not watching on YouTube Premium.
Yep, go over to your local podcasting app right now.
Please.
And listen to this bit.
Get that revenue through now.
Yep.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yep.
Every second helps us.
Pay for Tom Fence Browne's tattoo.
Get it's a tattoo on Fence Browne's back.
Yeah.
Fence, on his back fence.
Yep.
Hey, I've just noticed top 05 here.
Yep. In white, as usual.
No, there's nothing there.
Nothing there this week. Didn't get around to it. So, apologies. We are running a little bit long anyway, so we potentially dodged a bit of a bullet.
I agree.
But I've got the new ball next week for the top 05. Taking requests now as well. If you want us to count down something, let us know in the YouTube comments, in the Spotify comments. But
the Uber home from Manly, the great rugby league guru, had so many suggestions.
Yeah.
I've forgotten them all.
Yeah, same. Hopefully he's remembered a few of them.
I feel like he has, because they were premeditated.
He'd been sitting on those.
Yeah.
It'd be great to get Rue on at some point.
He said he'd be keen to do a top 05.
That'd be great.
Would have been perfect this week.
100%. But yes, I'll get on to that next week. But
no worries.
Plenty of raw emotions. Don't worry about that. Where do you want to kind of start? We've got so many. We've got a lot of. We've got another best of the back fence of Back Fence Browne watching, but Back Fence mic'd up. Maybe I'll give someone else the new ball first, just because we've just heard from Back Fence. I might just go to Ben White. Yep. He was pretty raw, ROAR, of course.
Any relation to Cameron?
Not sure. Let us know, Ben, if you are related to the Bear. But
and is it any chance that he's the Arsenal defender, Ben White?
Again, didn't really cover. I didn't have an accent or anything in this, so I don't think so.
Probably not.
But let's hear what he had to say straight after the game on Friday.
Against the Bunny. Fuck! Absolutely. Fuck! No better place to be on a Sunday afternoon. Fuck! When Manly are winning. So get back to this. Just leaving the hill at Brooky. Don't wait till it sells. Fuck this. Fuck.
Pretty raw. Leaving the ground.
Yeah, leaving the hill at Brooky.
Yeah.
Don't know if I saw Ben White there.
There was a lot of Tigers fans saying similar stuff at the time, so hard to tell. But yeah, probably sums up the feeling of the night. After so much, we covered it off earlier in the show. So much hope, so much Tristan going into it.
Lots of Tristan going into it.
Yeah.
A very derailed week, guys. Like, honestly, I understand venting the frustration straight after the game, but I couldn't implore you more to just move on now and look forward to the upcoming game against the Chooks.
Yeah, 100%. Toby King, haven't heard from him in a couple of weeks, but he had some thoughts, friend of the show. So over to Toby.
TK.
What's up, guys? Toby King here. Fuck. Man, I'm feeling so fucking pissed off. That sucks. I really was confident that we were going to win that game. but we've learned another lesson, and I am seething right now. I'm so fucking cranky. Words can't even describe. I'm just fucking pissed off. This is ridiculous. The Tigers can't fucking win a single fucking game. I'm so fucking over it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why? But I'm driving home now from my dad's house. He's a Manly fan, so he was giving it to me. My brothers, they're Manly fans too, so I was getting it all night.
Oh, man. Family Feud. Someone called Grant Denyer.
But now I'm going home to watch Squid Game Season 3, so, you know, it's not all bad, just only the things that matter.
Squid Game.
Controversially as well, Squid Game was supposed to only be 2 seasons, but they split season 2 into 2 seasons. They pretended they had a 3rd season, but it's actually just a continuation of the 2nd season.
Well, as Ange Postecoglou famously said, season 3 is always better than season 2. So good to hear the producers of Squid Game got on board that. Shame the owners of Tottenham did not.
Yes. It's starting to, these raw emotions are starting to show that frustration is boiling over. And as a fan base, as a tortured fan base as we have been for the last 20 odd years, I understand. But we need to remember what the goal of the season is, and that is to make the top 16.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. A bit of perspective. Sometimes you just got to zoom out.
We're on track.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of celebration and party we're going to have when we finish in the top 16?
Public holiday. Minzy.
It means over to you. Minzy.
Public holiday and upgrade that stadium for God's sake. Oh, my God. June 30 deadline just passed.
Did we get the 100
We haven't heard
million?
a peep out of him as well. Jeez.
Maybe he's putting it aside for the top 16 party at the end of the year.
That'd be a nice little
At Campbelltown.
little sweetener.
That's when he'll surprise us. Guys.
We're going to do it at the Leagues Club.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe we'll do it at the stadium.
Or Sherwin's. Is it Sherwin's? Shernak's next door. Yeah. Geez, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Give us an update. It'll be interesting to hear what happens in the next. Surely we're here this week.
Yeah.
Richo doesn't muck around.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Teddy Brooks sent a couple in. I've got a note here saying the second one was particularly funny, so I'm going to play that.
Okay, cool.
I just had a fucking Panthers fan come up to me and say they know how we feel, referring to the first 5 weeks of their season. A fucking Panthers fan. Fuck.
Oh, geez. I feel for you, Panthers fans. What a rough trot you had 5 weeks earlier in the season.
Man, I feel so sorry for the Panthers fans in the first 5 weeks.
I don't know how they did it.
I know.
Really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that is the most out of touch thing I've ever heard. I
Yeah.
reckon.
Get some perspective.
Get some perspective.
Thanks for sharing that though, Teddy Brooks.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Jaden Taylor, he had a bit of a go at almost a bit of a back Fence Browne mic'd up sort of segment, but I didn't mind a couple of these. I'm going to rattle through a couple of them now.
In relation to Mark?
Mark Taylor, potentially.
Okay.
Sounded like he was in a well air conditioned, a good temperature in the room that he was recording these.
Breathing
in.
Australia's favourite air.
That's right. So over to him.
Alrighty, professors. I'm doing a little try time every time we score. I'm going to send a little voice note, and back Fence Browne will be very happy because it is the Sabres. Chugga chugga chug.
He'll be happy with that. He'll be very happy with that.
It's do you know what? I think we spoke about this pre-season. We were like, I can't see this catching on, the Sabres.
Egg on our face.
Every week.
Yeah.
It's at least 15 to 20 mentions.
Oh.
Chugga, chugga.
Absolutely. There's a couple more here from him. He kind of descends into a bit of madness, but brings it home with a few more little voice notes as well.
Professors. I'm on the fucking breaking point. I tell you what. Oh man. What? We played like shit. This is actually like a very negative one for me this time. We played like fucking horses shit. There was some bad refereeing and some
Good point.
horrid decisions we made. Oh, all right, I'm done. See you boys at Leichhardt in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
redemption game.
You know, he's not done though.
Oh,
Yay, Talon scored. Raw.
And then he had a little bit of time to think about it. On Sunday he sent this one through.
We don't need the silver. He can piss off to Parramatta. Happy, please stay.
Yeah, it's a good point he makes about Appy, please
yeah,
stay.
we didn't even cover that. Appy hasn't signed anything.
That absolutely terrifies me.
And Talon's gone.
Yeah, we've got to lock that down. We need to prioritise that over the upgraded Campbelltown Stadium. Locking Appy down.
Minzy, over to you.
Minzy, sort it out.
Cough up 100 million for Appy.
Please.
Hey, just on the refereeing as well. I know we did top 05 referees for the West Tigers based on win percentage last week. Gavin Badger's daughter.
Yeah.
Shared it and said, I remember when the West Tigers fans had a petition to get my dad out of refereeing West Tigers games. Turns out it wasn't him. Turns out you guys were just shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
But it's funny that she picked it up and reshared it from TikTok onto Twitter.
Nice for them to be presented with some data, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. But she wouldn't have known that.
I'd love Gavin Badger to come out of retirement and ref a few of our games these days.
Yeah.
Given the data.
Well, yeah. What is it? Bill Harrigan, Steve Clark.
Yeah.
Gavin Badger all retired. They were the top three, I think.
Yeah. Might not get a couple of them out of retirement.
Yeah. That'd be
all right. Shall we get on to the Immortal or back Fence Browne? He was in good form.
I've been waiting all day, all night, all weekend for this.
Yeah, he sent a message on Friday at 7:45 p.m. saying, I need a couple of days to prepare for this one.
Whoa.
He sent one through yesterday at 6:45 a.m., so he's an early Jack Bird.
Well, you'd want to be if he's a painter.
Yeah.
Because when you paint early, you want to watch it dry for the rest of the day.
That's right.
You'd probably prefer that than what he saw on Friday night.
Paint the town orange. Anyway, over to him.
Boys, it's the Immortal. Look, don't know, not many words for that one. Brooky at Brooky, but I'm not going to come on here and be like one of those peeps on the interwebs just saying, fuck him, shit bloke this, fuck Benji out. Don't you say that about Benji! Benji's not going anywhere! We're building brick by brick! Rome was not built in a day, and the Tigers certainly aren't going to the fucking top 16 in a day. Let him work. What do you expect when Jarome gets hit with a Susan Boyle 8 hours out before the game? You got to expect these things. Brooky and Brooky, Jarome with a Susan. It's never happened. Anyway, just seeing the outs for this week against the Roosters. I don't know how to get in touch with B Marsh himself, but if you boys just want to let him know if he wants me to dust off the Nike Mercurials and just run a bit of shape with the boys. Just run a bit of block, run a bit of out the back, run a bit of... Just let me know. Because it's Monday at 6:44 and my legs are fucking shaking already for the weekend. I'm so fucking scared right now.
Oh my God.
Where's the nearest brick wall?
Honestly.
Seriously?
Brick by brick.
Yeah.
B-Marsh building it brick by brick. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the Tigers certainly won't make the top 16 in a day.
Yep. Some perspective. So eloquently put as well.
He just really, really puts the Tiger blood in me.
That's right.
Charlie Sheen used to do it back in the day. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, did he?
Tiger blood in himself.
Is that legit?
That's legit. Yep.
Why?
To like strengthen him, make him better at sex as well, I think.
Really? He put a lot of stuff in his system back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Tiger blood probably not the worst.
Yeah.
But that's what Reece Smith does to me.
Yeah.
He's my Tiger blood.
Yep. And look, if that's why he's the first Immortal. Always delivers. Bang, bang, bang.
True.
Speaking of someone who delivers regularly, Tom back Fence Browne. We'll have a quick look at a bit of back Fence Browne mic'd up before we wrap it up. Plenty came in. We can't play them all, but thank you very much for your submissions. Troy Maguire, very good as well. Always good to hear from you, but we'll get to you next week after a famous win against the Chooks. But let's finish with back Fence Browne mic'd up.
Sorry, when did we sign a fucking cannonball to the team? Jarome Skelton hit Tom Trbojevic so hard that he's just probably sent himself off for the game. Like, what the...
What about that?
Jesus Christ. I mean, thank God we got Luke Lally on the bench. That's kind of perfect. Kind of like Benji teed this up. God, that man is a genius.
Agreed.
5 minutes later, he fires up.
I'm pretty sure that Benji and Shane Richardson were onto something when they were talking about the refs. They're literally going to the point that they are standing in the way to prevent us from stopping tries. I'm just saying, in the great words of Jeff Tuvey, there needs to be a fucking investigation. What is going on here?
Yep. Sage advice.
Saberge is on. Keep on trolling. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Ooh, he's got the head taped up and everything. Damn, he's looking kind of cute.
Jeez, he loves his Saberge, doesn't he? He's got one more here. Is it at 7:15 p.m?
Chugga, 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 chugga. All aboard the Saberge. Oh my God. Fuck. This game, he comes on as a middle, makes like 30 runs in his first 5 minutes. Next thing you know, he's gone back hole running. I'm telling you right now, I think we might have found his game. Big boy, big ringer. He's got the head wrapped up. Fuck, that was pretty. That was make a grown man cry kind of stuff. Comebacks on, boys.
And that is the last we heard of him for the night. No comeback, sadly.
Wow.
But yeah, great
That's
man.
the last we heard of him.
Yeah, is he? In fact, I haven't heard from him since. Are you okay, back Fence Browne? Because we need you to get a tattoo.
Yeah, we
for
do.
content.
We do. We always trust that your content's going to be good.
Yep.
And once you get that tattoo, that will solidify that fact.
Yep. It'll be permanent.
Some really good stuff there.
Some good stuff there.
More of a kind of look at the refs as well. I didn't really notice it out there, but you don't really notice it when you're out there.
No. Pitch side.
Especially when we were getting harassed by the Manly faithful.
That's right.
Let's go for one more ad break
Let's
and then
do
we'll
it.
have a quick look at next week.
Love it.
All right. Sweet. So this week,
Yes.
Sunday Arvo.
Chookies.
You are working that night, I'm assuming?
Yes,
Are we
correct.
at 4 o'clock game or the 2 o'clock
2
game?
o'clock.
Oh,
So I'm all clear. Should
let's
be
do
sweet.
it.
Yeah.
We've been calling for more games at Allianz Stadium.
Yes.
We've got one. Unfortunately, I have a very, very sordid history of going to watch teams play at Allianz. My brother and dad are Dragons fans. I'm a Tigers fan.
Yep.
So pretty much always go to those games, and it never ends well.
Well, hopefully there's a bit of a 05 preliminary final kind of vibe in the air this weekend.
Good call.
Where we did slay the Dragons.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we're playing the Roosters.
Yeah, we're playing the Roosters and we're severely undermanned. So they got a few out for Origin. So, it's not all peaches and cream for them.
They've got that old washed-up fullback, right? James.
Ah, yeah. He's never been the same since he left the Tigers.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Has he even played Origin or since?
Not now, anyway. So
Not now, exactly.
Yeah.
If he was at the Tigers, he'd still be playing Origin.
Yeah, I reckon.
Look at Adam Dewey, pulled into Blues camp.
he could have been up there with Adam Dewey in the Blues camp 2025.
How do you think, it would be a miracle if we won,
Yeah, it would be.
but miracles happen.
The Miracle on Grass, Allianz Stadium,
Well, that'll be the name of our next
episode.
once we win.
Where were you Sunday, the 6th of July, 2025 for the Miracle on Grass? Well, we'll be there, and we hope you are too.
So for our win, learn or draw crystal ball, last week we had 2 or more Finew brothers to score. Didn't quite happen. I had a Dewey field goal.
Yep.
Didn't quite happen.
Didn't.
Did grab the game by the scruff of the neck, mind you. But
Yeah, he did.
No field goal.
No field goal for him.
So let's just combine one here and go with the win, learn or draw crystal ball.
Yep.
Win. We're going to win.
The boys win.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
I-
Heard it here first.
Yeah, he did.
Because I can't imagine any other.
No one
Tigers-
else. You heard it here first and last because no one else is going to be saying that the Tigers win this
The
week.
Tigers will beat the Roosters this weekend.
Yep.
You happy with that?
I'm happy with that. And I reckon Terrell May scores against his old club and carries on a bit too to rub it in a few faces of people that let him go.
It's a really good call.
Yeah.
A win into a Terrell May try scorer.
Yeah.
All right, love it. That'll do us for this week. A nice little morning podcast session. Which is always good.
Carpe diem.
Grumpy coffee keeping us going.
That's right.
Some of the best coffee on the market.
Yep. That's 2 mentions, Denon, by the way, if you're watching. That's going to cost
Yeah,
you.
we'll send you the bill. We'll send you the bill.
Yep.
That's it for today.
That's us.
So probably see you on Sunday for the game.
See you there.
And
then back to normal programming next week. We'll get this out as quick as we can now. But we'll get back into our flow for next week for sure.
can I say, Hammy, 6 lessons in a row, top 16?
Here we come.
Here we come, baby.